Hello, podcast listeners. This is Eric Anderson, host of YXE Underground, with a special bonus episode. It is Thursday, October the 15th. Is it the 15th today, Kirby? It is. It's the 15th of October. I am in the Broadway Theatre right now. It's Thursday afternoon, and beside me is a friend of the podcast and someone very well known in the community, and his name is Kirby Rochenko. And Kirby, the reason why I'm talking to you today is...
Well, we launched today a fundraising effort, a campaign, and it's interesting. You know, I've been here about 13 years. We haven't done a public reaching fundraiser for over a decade, and so there's a little tiny thing called the pandemic that's happening right now, and that is adding some stress to the future potential of lots of businesses and lots of orgs. The Broadway being so involved in getting people together, there's a real good chance that we're going to be among the very last businesses and orgs that'll be able to kind of reopen fully.
What have the last 5, 6, 7 months been like for you and the organization?
Well, you know, we closed right around Juno's weekend, and so we were in the middle of a super busy year and a lot of good things happening, and what we did was we hunkered down and we cut all our expenses quick. So, I mean, I laid myself off and my whole team at 20 off. We shut everything down March 16th. And, you know, I as a volunteer, I kind of did some hours every week to kind of steer the thing. But it really wasn't until about end of June, start of July that the board hired me back kind of full time. And then my managers have come back in August. So there's a few of us working, and, you know, your stick handling, moving, I think we've moved over 100 events off of our calendar to later dates, later years. We've only really truly canceled about a dozen. So it gives you confidence, because you think, well, if this time comes where things are returning back to normal, we know there's a ton of confidence out there, whether it's artists or agents or managers. People will want to be back at the Broadway. We know that. The dilemma that we'll face is making sure that we last until that time, that we can recycle. Because, you know, at this point, I mean, the building itself, and I'm not talking about, you know, paying staff or anything else, or even a mortgage. I'm just talking about utilities, taxes, your insurance. Just so the building's legal and so it's okay to sit here. That's about a $70,000 a year cost. So to be able to maintain and manage what we can do right now with making very little revenues, but needing to try and last until, and I guess, Eric, just to make a fine point of it, some businesses have been open almost the entire time, you know, reduced capacity, whatever, but they've been open since March, April. We were only allowed to open in July and at 21% of our capacity. And of course, there's no tours on the road, there's no shows coming through, so there's really nothing to book. So what we can do in the building is very limited. I would say 5%, 7% of our normal income is what we could hope to bring in right now and what we're allowed to do. And so for us, it's not about, oh, well, we just got to make it till spring. I mean, even if there's a vaccine on the horizon, even if the province says we can have a little more seats open, it's not about making it till January or making it till spring or making it till summer. We really don't see a way that the theater can do a quarter like it was in 2019, probably till the end of 2022, if not later. And so this fundraising effort is just to make sure that we have enough stable funding and support so that between now and into, you know, the spring of 22, we've got enough of a backstop, because we're not going to spring back in January, February, or March. It's not going to happen. Even when everything is, quote, back to normal and we're allowed to do full service and full seats, it'll take about a year for it to cycle up. I mean, tours don't book a week out. They book 6 months out, 8 months out, 10 months out. So it'll take quite a bit of time.
You paint a very challenging picture, and that's for sure. And so I'm wondering, with all these challenges, how hard was it to come to the decision, Kirby, to say, you know what, we need help from our community?
Well, it's an interesting question. I mean, I'll be honest, I've been here almost 13 years, and for the last 10, 11, we haven't done fundraisers. My goal and my target, and my board supported it for all those years, was let's get the place busy. Let's make something that happens on the stage or on the screen and in the seats that's meaningful enough to people that they'll buy lots of tickets. They'll tell their friends. They'll buy beer at the concession. They'll rent the place for their own event. They'll come to their cousin's wedding, or they'll come here for church or for a funeral. They'll come here for a corporate or a private rental. We turned this thing into one of the busiest venues in Western Canada, and it was working. I mean, our budget last year was 6 times what it was when I started 12 years ago. So the plan worked. But COVID is just something that pulls the rug out from everybody. And as I said before, I mean, it's in some ways it's just not an equal carpet, right? I mean, if we were able to open right now at half capacity and there were still tours coming through and there's still things to show, it's just not that way for our industry. Arts, culture, entertainment, community events, it's still a long way off before that's normalized.
I can't help but think the last time I was in this theater was actually interviewing one of your colleagues, Aaron, for the podcast that we did, focusing on all the Juno venues, and you guys were organizing Juno Fest, and then that did not happen, and life has been so different since that point. What I guess, Kirby, what have you heard from our community that gives you confidence to know that, okay, this fundraiser is going to work, it's going to help us?
Well, I mean, I guess there's 2 angles on that. I mean, one, I know it's going to help us. If it's successful, we have been, this whole thing was hinged, Eric, upon a first gift that we received through Bob Steen, who died in Saskatoon last year, but left a very huge philanthropic trail in this market. And so gave us a $40,000 gift. And what we did was right away went to some corporate and organizational friends, and that's Strata Construction, Kinsman Club of Saskatoon, and Affinity Credit Union. And they all came on board and said, you know what, Kirby, if you push it to the public, we'll match the first $40,000 from the public. And so essentially, we're asking the public to fundraise the last $40,000, if you will, at a minimum. I mean, that's we know that'll be matched. I mean, if we raise more, wonderful, right? But at the number I just told you, this building takes $65,000, $70,000 a year just to operate the building, not staff it, not anything else. So our hope is that in 21, we'll be able to do at least a number of small things to create small revenue, that'll help pay for the staffing, but that if we can raise enough money to backstop the bare costs, so the math works if we can raise it. As importantly, I guess the other angle on the question is, how do we know it can work? And I guess all I can say is, we were one of the busiest buildings in the West for the last several years. We can go in the street right now and talk to somebody, and they had been here recently, their sister, their cousin, their coworker, their friend, their partner. And they don't all come for the same thing. That's the strength, right? Like, the building has always tried to reflect the community. Therefore, it's not a folk music concert room. It's not a movie house. It's not a rock and roll room. It's not a rental hall. It's all those things. I mean, in my 10, 11 years here, I think we've done about 65 weddings here. When you think about people choosing a space to do a pretty important day like that, and they choose here, that tells you something. It tells you the building carries meaning for people, and it makes meaning for them. Similarly, you might come because you come for concerts, right? And that's your thing. Other people might come for comedy or dance shows. Or this year, we were slated to have over 50 days of live theater in this room, the biggest theater year we ever would have had. Some people come for community events, awareness events. Some people come here for church. And so all I have to go on is proof of this many people come through here regularly for something that means something to them. That's why we had confidence that we could ask for some support and some investment in the future. If you put it this way, I don't want us at the Broadway to think about making it for the next 10 weeks or 6 months. I want us to think about having the next 10 or 20 years and returning to that very busy, successful thing we were. So in order to do that, let's get through the next 6 to 12 months.
How can people help?
Well, right now, we're going to do a GoFundMe page to donate. And basically, if people go to either our website, broadwaytheatre.ca, or we have a campaign site called broadwayheretostay.ca. Either one will get you to that donation page. And, and if you can't give anything, that's fine. Gee, I mean, we all have been challenged this year economically, right? But even if it's not something you could give to, but you kind of believe in it, or someone who might, forwards help. Just think of your 6 closest friends that you think, yeah, we went to someone's wedding there, and then I went to a concert there. Spread the word. I mean, all you can do is share with your friends what you believe in. And if we send this out to hundreds or thousands of people, if they all share it just once, we've got a really great chance of not only hitting this target we have, but going well over it. And it'll just make this place that much stronger to come back and be that busy kind of place where people make memories again.
I wish you the best of luck. It's been a privilege to get to know you and your team these last few years. And I remember it was March 2nd, I was here for the Andy Schoff concert, and that was the last concert I was at. And I look forward to the day when we can come back here again and rock out to shows like that. Kirby, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we look forward to that too, Eric. Appreciate it.